Hello, Fairfield. Welcome to Community Dialogues, to this episode shot here in Werner's wonderful studio in Fairfield. I'm Melinda Arndt. I have been happy to greet people in the past on my old radio show on Crew, and then doing the City Biz updates with Michael Halley, and now here with Werner, finding out all kinds of things about our community. And I am here with Stephen Cardinal.
Hi, Melinda. How's it going?
It is going great. He actually has the info. I'm just going to be asking a few questions of him. So I remember a time when I had a booth, a health booth, at a indoor farmers market that was held at the Old Armory building. And many of us have experienced doing some event there or other, I'm sure, at the corner of B and Broadway. And now the question on many people's minds is, what's going on in there? Is that place ever going to open up? And Stephen is the man with the answers, because he's the project manager for what is going on in there. And the venue is now called
The Blue Rose.
And how did that name come about?
Well, as a lot of people might know, like David Lynch is a big part of this town. He was helping to promote the Transcendental Meditation program.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of his. And so this project is named after a part of one of his shows, Twin Peaks.
Oh,
There's a little thing in that show, and it kind of takes that little aspect of that show, and we're giving it a home, basically.
A beautiful rose name associated with a very creative guy, a little bit quirky guy, but very creative guy.
Very creative.
Does that give a flavor of what will happen there?
Yeah, it's going to be a very creative space. We want it to be a place for all of Fairfield to come and just be themselves. And David Lynch very much is like that. He's always just himself, no matter what. And so we just wanted to make a place for Fairfield to come and be themselves and be creative. There's a lot of creativity happening in the space. A lot of attention to detail. We want the place to, when you walk in, to inspire you. And it's definitely doing that to me every day when I walk in, just seeing all the stuff that we're doing and changing the space, making it just completely different.
Stephen walked me through the building the other day, and I got to see firsthand and hear firsthand that for the last over 2 years, a lot of foundational work has been done in there. Like every time they went to maybe redo the HVAC or the pipes, a bunch of foundational malfunctions were discovered and had to be rectified in a mighty way. So that's taken up, I guess, a lot of the time. But then now, well, what you showed me is that there will be a performance space, and there'll be a restaurant space, and a bunch of other spaces too. Yeah,
just like you said, we had about 2 years of foundational reconstruction work. It's an old building built originally in 1910 for a very specific purpose, for the Armory of Fairfield. And now today, in 2024, we're trying to create a new purpose for the building, a performance hall, community center for Fairfield. And in order to do that, we had to really beef up the bones of the building. It had sat vacant for so long, so yeah, there was 2 years of just making it physically sound again.
Yeah, well, you've got to have a solid, that's why it's called a foundation, a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Can't have people's feet going through the floor, or water coming in where the wires are supposed to be, or any of that. I mean, that won't happen. This place looks so solid now.
Yeah.
And what you were showing me is that there will be meeting spaces, private party spaces, as well as the ballroom space, which will be a performance space, but which is also going to be able to, people can record in there while they're performing, and it will be as if they're in a studio. The equipment and everything you said is state of the art.
Yeah, the idea is that it would be great for artists to come and perform for our small town, and as a town, it's going to be amazing to see these performers. But we want it to give something to the performer, to give them an opportunity to make a splash on the internet. So yeah, they're going to be coming to Fairfield, this small town, playing for a couple hundred people, but we could stream the performance online. And now, thousands of people can see this performance, maybe a million people or something, we don't know, depending on how big the band is. Or we could also offer bands a package of their audio and video recording, in the space. And one unique thing about our building is that we do have high-end audio equipment, but we've also sound treated the room so that there's no echo in the room, and we can completely control the audio in the room. So you're going to sound amazing when you're in the space. So we're hoping that artists, as they come in and they see it and they hear themselves perform in there, they're going to be like, wow, like telling their friends, and their friends wanting to come and perform as well, because you're just going to sound and look amazing on our stage.
And if there are festivals, which again, that idea came up when we were going through the building, that there's a vision to have not only music festivals of various sorts, and of course any genre of music, you could have a festival, jazz, blues, country, whatever, but also health festivals, food festivals, sustainability festivals, and have the venue of the Blue Rose collaborating with all the other venues in town, so that a person would get like a wristband for the event, then you could see the list of who's performing at all the different venues all over town, and then go to any of those. But I'm thinking people are going to be fighting to be the on this high-end sound, how do I put it, high-quality soundstage?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that's a big goal for this project. Is like, obviously we could, just with the Blue Rose, if we wanted to do a project in and of ourselves, we could have a little, music venue festival kind of thing happening in our space. But I would really love to work with the whole town synergistically, all the different other businesses that could work together, like the Sondheim Center, Orpheum Theater, Cafe Paradiso, Golden Magnolia, Phoenix Rising, Morning Star Studio, all these places within walking distance. You can get your little wristband, go into each of the places, that you've paid for the entire event. And then Fairfield has tons of creativity as far as like food and crafts and wellness, and so all those could be vendors on the streets in between these events where people are walking to. And then now all of a sudden, maybe we have 10,000 people coming to our town regularly, and all the businesses are, getting a benefit from that, not just one business. So we want the whole town to rise together, basically, with this project.
Very exciting, very cool, and very Fairfield, I think, don't you think? It's such a wonderful idea. We can look back on those couple of years when the town hosted Fairfest and kind of see what happened and just do that in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't in town when Fairfest was happening, but I was watching it happen, and now we want to just take that and just move it indoors, because like the weather here in Iowa is unpredictable. It's rainy one day and then it's sunny the next, like it is right now. And so we want to take that chance of that festival getting rained out, move it indoors, and so that way at least the performance aspect of it can still go on.
Yeah. Now tell us a little more about the bistro side of it.
Yes, so besides having a performance hall, there's multiple spaces in this building, and another space that we'll be utilizing a lot will be the bistro. And it'll be food available to people. We'll be focusing mostly on lunch. And we're kind of focusing on like affordable, healthy meals, so kind of like soups, salad, sandwiches to begin with. And then we want the bistro space to be open to the public for someone who has an idea for like a pop-up restaurant. Maybe they have a recipe that like, oh, my grandmother made amazing raviolis and I would like to do that. I don't want to make a whole restaurant out of it, but I could do it once a month. So we could do a once a month kind of thing with people and just try things out. And then maybe if something kind of like really is popular and the town is responding to it, and we keep doing that over a night after night after night, well, then maybe that's a new restaurant, for the town. And now we have a new restaurant. And so we're hoping that like this can be like an incubator.
I was thinking that same word, incubator space.
Yeah, for people who just want to try something out, but don't want to necessarily have to, have the whole brick and mortar. We have the brick and mortar prepared for you.
There you go.
So yeah.
And I did see the space. It's going to be quite adequate, and even downstairs there's a whole space where a larger kitchen area will be for like catering or for like a big reception or some sort of thing or a holiday party. So the capacity looks there.
Yeah, we have a capacity of, by the fire marshal, of 700 to 900 people. So that's for concerts, weddings, or whatever we want to do in there. So yeah, we have a lot of space.
Yeah, and they have some interesting lighting going on in there. I think Stephen helped design some of that. Or
Yeah.
at least did you design the casings, or you actually had the thought of the lights and the color? And
I think we're talking about the second floor.
well, that's the ones I've
Yeah,
seen.
yeah. So the I guess you would call it the window framing on the second floor. I was working with one of our contractors, and we wanted to make it kind of special and unique. And so, yeah, I had a couple drawings, and I would present it to the contractor, and he'd be like, "Okay, well, what about this plus this?" You know, and kind of combining some things. And so we had a collaboration, and we came up with these window frames, and there's lights in them. Sometimes people can see it at night when they're driving by, but
They were on last night. I was driving home from the square.
yeah. So it's kind of a fun part of the building.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. And just seeing the immense amount of work that's already gone into the building, now that they're at a point where some of the rooms are ready to get sheetrocked or have been. So the work is progressing, but there's still a busy hive of like a dozen people working in there
Every day. Yeah. We're constantly going. We have a great crew of people. We've been just chipping at this project every day for years now, and we're just really excited to get it done, to share it with the community.
So can we expect maybe a year from now or a little less? Or I mean, that's an ETA.
Yeah,
right?
hopefully by the end of this summer or end of the fall, we'll have the ballroom done. The lighting system should all be set up in there. And then hopefully a year from now, we'll be open to the public. Everything crossed.
Cool beans. So next summer,
Yeah.
keep staying tuned as you pass that corner. Send your good thoughts or wave, or
Please do.
you know, even if you're walking by, you can look in the windows.
Yeah, yeah,
I've done that myself.
yeah.
Wowie zow. I'm sure there's more that could be discussed. Like, you want to talk a little bit about Jai,
Jai, yeah.
and his background. He's heading up the food.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Jai Purdy. We met in 2007 at Fairfield, or at the MIU here in Fairfield, and we became friends. We've lived together on the island of Maui, and that's where he and I kind of learned about these things that we wanted to bring back to Fairfield. Jai was learning the art of making tempeh, which is a meat alternative, and Fairfield has a high amount of vegetarians and vegans, so we thought that would be a very popular thing for town. And then I was learning about beverages and the way to flavor them and everything in a very healthy way, so I'm bringing that here to town. Jai and I learned these things on Maui, so when we were on Maui learning these things, we kept saying, I think Fairfield would really like this, you know, and no matter if we were living anywhere else in the country, we always had our hearts and minds back on Fairfield. And so, here we are back. I've been back since 2016 and working on this project since 2019. So just excited to share it with everybody.
So Jai will be offering a variety of things, but there might be a little bit bigger focus on tempeh-based foods.
Yeah, Jai is going to be our executive chef, and we'll be focusing a lot on the tempeh in the beginning, but then he'll be kind of overseeing all of the food aspect of our business. So, we'll be doing catering, we'll be doing the day-to-day meal, food prep stuff. So there'll be a lot of different facets of this business, and his hat will be kind of changing.
Well, I remember asking when we were touring through if there'd be like a coffee place, or what the kind of focus was, and you mentioned these herbal or floral infused essence drinks. You said, yeah, well, there'll probably be coffee available. It's not like we're going to have a bunch of espresso machines, and it's not going to be that kind of a place, there'll be an emphasis on the delicious and healthy things to consume.
Yes. Yeah, so when I was on Maui, I was learning this process called hydrodistillation. And through hydrodistillation, you get two products. You get essential oils, and then you get this other product that most people kind of toss away, and it's called hydrosol. And hydrosol is a fancy word for flavored water. And so once we do this hydrodistillation, we'll be getting this flavored water that will have all of the medicinal and beneficial qualities of whatever it is that we're distilling. So you'll get like plant medicine-like qualities to the beverages that you're enjoying, and it'll, you know, for instance, the one that I'm thinking of automatically is like cinnamon. You can drink this cinnamon hydrosol. It tastes sweet, like it's got sugar in it, but zero sugar, and it actually reduces inflammation in the body.
Isn't that something? So a person could be sitting in there in this third space to hang out, journaling or communicating with your friends and sipping your hydrosol. So it's all yet to come, hopefully within a year.
Yeah, and you mentioned this the word the idea of third space, and that's something that we really want to become for Fairfield. Is like, it's not home, it's not a business, but it's some place where you can just come and hang out with your friends and just kind of be there. So we just want to provide a place for you to come and just hang out and dream up ideas to fill up the space with.
Cool beans. Well, there you have it from Stephen, the project manager at the Blue Rose. The Old Armory building is now the Blue Rose. And we look forward to bringing maybe another update in another 6 months or so.
Cool.
Maybe when the ballroom opens or is about to.
Cool beans.
Thanks for tuning in to Community Dialogues.